Curtis Selby's time, breaking down the stories every view will unwind. From left to right we'll see the light. It's balance we're chasing, no fighters fight. Curtis Selby talking straight, let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay on while it's diving deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. Insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The convo's unique. Curtis Selby talking it straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. The combos you need.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Curtis Selby, your tired midnight blogger. What blogs? In this case, at 6:26 p.m. I'll make sure I've clocked out. Don't need my employer paying for this whole stream. There we go. Welcome, everybody. I hope you've had a wonderful new year. I know that there are terrible things going on in the world. I don't know that I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about them. I'm not actually a news reporter. I'm just a silly, tired midnight blogger. But I do want to at least mention that there's been several terrible things go on. My prayers go out to all of those people. And I hope that nobody in the chat is very directly involved as far as being a victim. I'm pretty sure none of you are part of the plot. If you are part of the plot, let me know. I want to go out in a blaze of glory. Ah, okay, maybe not. YouTube will nail me on that one. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat before I dive too deeply into the topic, which is Tulsi's Trump card. Why Tulsi is the most critical of Trump's appointees. Not the city of Tulsa, nor Sylvester Stallone, the Tulsa King, but the beautiful, talented, and very tough, but yet elegant Tulsi Gabbard. Gabbard. Hail Connie Cleary, the faithful bird woman of YouTube, and one of the four great wrenches of the community. Please check out her channel and her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. On both channels, she has beautiful videos of birds, often accompanied by lovely Enya music or something similar. Please give her channel a check out if you have not already. John Ponterero. The funny thing is, when I'm less busy is when I'm less likely to check my phone. I don't know what's up with that, but thank you very much for your brotherly love, your prayers, your support, the links that you send. And hopefully the snow is not too bad. I know it's going to be cold out here, but I don't think we're supposed to get any snow. I hope not. I have a really busy day tomorrow, after having had a lot of not busy days. Mikey Susie Full, hail chatters. Please also visit this gentleman's wonderful website. His channel has many great reviews, a lot of great commentary. Great Christian man. People have been weird lately, so my prayers have been going out to you, Mikey, for whatever's going on. But please check this gentleman out. Give him a few likes and shares. He deserves them. This dork owes me money. Tell you, he's done so many things to just hurt my life. Space Fraggle Kapla. Glory to you and your house. And yes, Gorilla's Censored Thought was indeed the author, creator, however you want to call it, of the intro that I played. I hope you all enjoyed it. Been trying to do some editing, but somehow my editing skills seem to have dropped. I don't remember getting in touch with any vampires, succubi, or other level drainers, which I guess they don't do anymore, but back in the old day, you had those. It seems like something's happened. Jeff B, hail and well met. Stopping by to support. Curtis with well-deserved thumbs up. Wish you all a happy new year. Gotta go. Hey, I appreciate you, sir. Welcome, welcome, and I hope whatever endeavor you are in is successful and well done. Hold on. Let's see if I'm smart enough to do this. Probably not. Who's doing some weird stuff? I don't know exactly what it is. Anyway, there's Cassie saying hi. But I'll go back to Tulsi because I think that's probably more aesthetically pleasing since the yard stream's being weird. Sashi, the man from the future. He's the secret Asian man. Secret Asian man. He will leave you wondrous comments and lots of recipes. Greetings, we'll be learning for now. I am watching you. Oh, we know. We know you're watching, Sashi. Everybody saying hello to each other. Such a wonderful, supportive community. Glory to you and your house, replies Fakes Ragdoll. Thank you so much, saith Mikey Susie 4. We're rocking on. Sashi says, that's weird. The chat comments are disappearing for me. If anyone said hi back. Yeah, there's something going on with Yardstream. I don't know what it is. I've downloaded UBS Stream Elements. I got to play with it and see how it works with or without StreamYard. Oh, and after this stream, Mikey Susie 4 is doing a review of Nosferatu. Yes, we have Nosferatu. We have Nosferatu today. Please check out his review. I have heard great things about it, but I've heard other people who were more or less felt it was mediocre. So I don't know. But the Critical Drinker had great things to say about it. I don't think I've watched, and even though I pumped it up a bunch, I don't think I've watched Big Al's yet. Today has just been weird. I didn't really have that much to do, but I got very little accomplished. John Ponterera, clearing not much yet, not enough to use a snowblower yet. With the lake effect, it's a crapshoot. He's talking about the snow. I'm taking it that Connie must have said something about the snow. Looking out the window better than any forecast this time around. Right on. Space Fraggle, sometimes it happens to me. I got a hello from you, Sashi. Mikey Susie 4, we didn't receive much snow today or the past few days with a sad face. All right, we're well into 10 minutes into the stream. So I'm going to stop that music. And Cassie's over here being all cutesy and stuff, but I know if I try to get the camera on her, something weird. It's trying to use my old Abe Lincoln avatar, which is kind of cool and kind of not at the same time. I'm sure if I did a little bit of finagling around, I could figure it out. So I arbitrarily decided that what I wanted to talk about today was Tulsi Gabbard. The reason being, there's other people who think this way, a lot smarter people than myself. And I really do believe that she's the kind of the key. She's the linchpin. Not so much that she's the most important appointee or that she'll be the best or get the most accomplished. But I think that I think she's the linchpin in this mean. I believe that we can essentially measure how successful Trump's efforts are going to be by the level of difficulty he faces in getting her brought in. In other words, if the Congress is just like, heck yeah, bring her in, she's the bomb, then maybe we've come to the end of the dark period, as Tucker Carlson suggested in a speech earlier the other day. If it's a great big battle, I think that shows that we still have a lot of work to do, but that there is at least hope. And if she is not appointed, while I don't go so far as Tucker Carlson as to say that everybody who opposes her is America's enemy, I don't go that far. But I would suggest that we can decide who the deep state has. I guess maybe I am saying what Tucker Carlson's saying. Essentially, those who oppose her will fall into two camps. One is the ones that Tucker Carlson's talking about. It's the people who've been profiting off of our corpses for so long. Obviously, they're going to blatantly, or at least covertly, oppose her. But then there will be people, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. There will be people who just honestly believe either, that she's a Russian asset or whatever. In other words, either you're in the deep state or you've been fooled by the deep state. I don't mean to be arrogant, and I'm not necessarily counting regular people in that, but the people in Washington, the people who ought to know, the people who told us that everything was fine with Biden, I'm sorry. I see only two possibilities. Let me know if there's a third. I mean, the third being that I'm just totally wrong. But if I'm even partially right, I believe there's only two camps, those in the deep state and those fooled by the deep state in this category. Space Fraggle, she is, in fact, a precious puppy. I wonder if she'll hold still long enough. Something's going on weird with the camera, and I apologize about that. Yeah, it's wanting to show me as Lincoln. I'm sure if I did a little bit of playing, I could fix that. There she is. I won't make you suffer through my bad photography, though, because she's just too cute, though. Mike Season 4 just was browsing a favorite music playlist. Over 2,700 songs these past 8 years. And, talking about people's comments disappearing. Okay, no, it didn't disappear. I just skipped over it because I'm a jerk. Mikey Susie Ford also made a great comment about being exhausted as I've been, but still having a good New Year. He's saying same here to some extent. Definitely looking forward to Charlotte Night Stars weekend. I am as well. However, I will be working Saturday. Sorry. So I won't be there on the Saturday one, but I definitely want to make this Sunday one and see that. And I have not, sadly, gotten around to seeing her recent video and liking it, but I look forward to it. It's in my thing. I try to get to the oldest stuff first, because otherwise I never get to anything. Mike season 4, the 2 fur babies are being so cute. Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. John Ponterero says what I think. She has great assets, but I don't believe any of them to be Russian. Mikey season 4, love you, Curtis. Is always glad that you're still working. Yeah, me too. Thank you very much. All righty. Let's begin. Let's dive into the topic. What is Yardstream doing? It does not like me today. The site will be able to see the contents of my screen. That's the point. Why are you giving me a warning on that? All righty. I will start in a boring fashion, although I should just start with her pictures of her in a bikini. Probably won't share those unless I just get a lot of people asking about that. Former. All right. I'll start with where we're at now, and then go back in time to do a little. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to do a deep dive, but I did want to at least re-explain for anyone who hasn't been around for some of my old stuff, who Tulsi is, what her background is, why I think she's amazing, besides just the fact that she's pretty. And I'm not saying that has nothing to do with it, but it really has very little to do with it. AOC, I think, is a beautiful woman. I still can't stand her. Gorilla Sense Thoughts. The heck, it's Monday. Why am I lying? It feels like Monday, doesn't it? Gorillas wants the bikini pics. Okay, just because you helped with the music, let's get you some bikini pics. Tulsi Gabbard in a bikini. Here we go. I can't help it. She's just really pretty. All right. Now let us share the screen. I won't stay on this because I don't want to be too lascivious. Well, at least not, online. Here it is. Tulsi Gabbard in a bathing suit. There she is. And somebody's done some horrible thing here because, we got to be evil mocking people, but whatever. There she is. Tulsi Gabbard. Yay. This one's a little more PG. I mean, they're all PG, but I would bet this one is probably Photoshopped because I really doubt she would ever pose like that. Maybe. Let me know if you know something I don't. Here she is with a tan that just is making me want to be a bad person. And here she is in just a lovely, business suit with the lei and all that. Here she is surfing. Let's go surfing now. Everybody together wonders how. This is Russian. I'm pretty sure this is not her. I do remember enough of my Cyrillic to be able to read her name. I don't know if I can get much further than that or not. Tulsi Gabbard, the Kapapniki. I don't know. I have no idea. I can read the Cyrillic, but I don't always know what the hell the word means. In fact, most of the time I don't have any idea. Anyway, there she is. That's. Oh, you guys can't see it, can you? Or can you? Can you guys see that? You guys can see this, not that. Well, to heck with it. We have seen her in a bikini. That's enough. All right. And now that I've offended all the ladies out there, one of the great ladies is out here. Moira Kitty, meow, meow. She's also doing a stream pretty soon. My apologies. I probably won't be done in time to go to yours, but I hope that you have a great stream. And anyone that just gets too bored with mine, or if you want to dual stream, I know Connie Cleary is the master. I swear to God, she must have 100 streams going at the same time. I don't know how she does it. She's probably got a supercomputer, and Dr. Evil comes up. What upgrades do you need today? Connie Cleary. This upgrade will be $1 million. Anyway, meow meow. Hey Gorilla, great job on Curtis Intro song. I thought so. That's one of the best. I mean, except that it's got this creepy Curtis guy in it. Other than that, it's a great song. Everyone's saying hello. Everyone ask for the bikini pics. Well, if we get 2 or 3 more people, I may bring out more of them. Oh yeah, she's gorgeous in a bikini. I just got to say it. I mean, you may be too, Moira, but I'm talking about Tulsi Gabbard. So yeah. Hey, hello, LDG, Free the Net. Thank you very much for helping me to get that song to work. You know what? So I'm getting ahead of myself. If I haven't already said so, please visit Gorilla Censored Thoughts. He's got wonderful watch parties, wonderful commentary, wonderful people that come along. One of them often being Moira Kitty. Please visit her channel. She will teach you a lot of things that you probably don't even want to know, but you really kind of need to. Even if you don't like what you're hearing, you really do need to know at least some of it, because you're told just this one narrative. And as we've learned in this last year, at least if you've been paying attention to either one of our channels, hers or mine, the mainstream media lies to us a lot. And now getting to, what the hell did I just do? There we go. LDG, Free the Net. Please visit this gentleman's website. Please give him what support you can. He is developing an app, and I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I think he is just on the cusp, if he hasn't already developed it, and I'm just behind the times. It's always possible. But this app is going to free us from the big mainstream, big tech dodo heads and allow us to make our own platforms where we will dictate what the terms of service are, within reason, of course. There will be actual freedom of speech, and Bikini Gal for president. She will probably have my vote. I mean, depending on who runs. Tulsi for 2029, maybe. I don't know. I would. Again, I don't know that I would absolutely vote for her over any freaking buddy, but I would vote for her over a lot of people. It would be cool to have me for the stream if I want. I do want, but I won't be done with this by then. And I apologize. I kind of have to schedule them around 6:30 anymore because this job goes later than my old job did. And that's one of the few negatives about it. But it's still a pretty good job, especially if anyone from my job is listening. But no, it is. It is pretty good. I'm still trying to figure out how LDG claims he can focus on 6 streams at once. Wow. That's amazing. And the ladies may want to see me in a bikini, but number 1, it's not going to happen. And number 2, they would be sadly disappointed. I didn't look so bad in a bathing suit 5 years ago, but now it's not so great to look at. Yes, Mikey Susie 4. I think most people can second that. And now I could probably get a 5-year-old photo and Photoshop my current face over it or something. Give the guys a warning. Right on. Keep an eye out for Moira. She has highly trained government raccoons around her. She does. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Tulsi Gabbard has trained all of these raccoons, and that the Russians have hired Tulsi to train raccoons to spy on Moira. Hugs to you, Moira. You are wonderful. You're a wonderful person. Her raccoons act as her secret service, and her beau, Chris, has a laser pointer at their front door. Awesome. All right. Okay. Let's dive into the topic now. I let you guys distract me with bikinis. It was worth it, though. All right. So where we're at now, the Hill, according to them, from December 6th. There's probably more recent stuff, but I imagine that this is still pretty relevant. The former national security officials urge caution on Gabbard. A group of nearly 100 former national security officials urged the Senate to carefully scrutinize. Unlike the others that we uncarefully scrutinized, former Representative Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, President-elect Trump's nominee to serve as Director of National Intelligence. The letter raises a number of concerns about Gabbard. Does any of this sound familiar? A former Democratic representative and presidential candidate questioning her experience level in a series of past controversial comments, as well as a meeting with Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. And as we all know, oh, hey, thank you, Moira. As we all know, if you meet with Bashar al-Assad, you're obviously the bad person. It's just got to be. Maybe she should have just done what she should have done and just talked to Benjamin Netanyahu and done nothing but praise him to high heaven, which, for all I know, maybe she does. I don't know. Gabbard has come under fire for sharing views that counter the conclusions drawn by the intelligence community, when that makes her a sinner without hope. Anyway, she counters the conclusions of the community she would oversee through the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which coordinates among the 18. Was anyone else today years old? I bet Moira already knew this. But who else was today years old when they learned that we have 18 intelligence agencies? Can I ask you why? Why in the hell do we need 18 of them? I can see the CIA, as much as I hate them, but I can see it. I can see one for each of the armed services. What is that? We've got Army, Navy, Air Force, arguably the Marines, the Coast Guard, Space Force. There's 7. So let's just say that there's one other just for grins and giggles. Why would you need 10 more on top of that? Who are they investigating? What kind of intelligence are they gathering? What are they doing with it? Gorilla Sensor thought, I did not. If I reach 1,000 subs, okay, I'll tell you what, I may stream in the Speedo, but I will not have it on the camera. I think you're making crap up, sir. Raccoons are very small, so they may have they have to have MP5s. Mikey sees it for Gorilla. You rarely make stuff up. Moira Kitty, the cult is dangerous. The one that wants to see me in Speedo or the CIA. I think you're talking about the CIA, but most cults are. And Moira, I'm actually glad that you didn't know that, because like, it just means that there's hope for me. If there's something that you don't know and I didn't know it, maybe there's hope for me too. What the crap? 18? Yeah. We're going to need a lot of serious putty. And Mikey Susie 4, we call that government overkill. No, I agree. I see zero reason. Even if you're not one of these people who wants to dismantle the CIA, just putting that out there. Even if you're one that doesn't want to dismantle the CIA, do we need 18 different intelligence agencies? And I would really love to know what the I say 10, but really there's 11 that I have no idea what they would even be. I just threw out one for good measure. You know, we got an 8th one to grow on. All right. So she shares views that counter their conclusions. Those views, the officials wrote, call into question, quote, her ability to deliver unbiased intelligence briefings to the president, Congress, and to the entire national security apparatus. I'm curious if they will tell me what these dangerous views are. Because if they don't, none of this is going to sway me. I want some freaking specifics. The Senate must carefully, this is from the 100 officials, the Senate must carefully evaluate whether Ms. Gabbard is equipped to effectively oversee an organizational structure as unique and large as the National Intelligence Program, and also the effect of her holding this position on the willingness of our closest allies to share intelligence with the U.S. The Trump transition team said the letter was an effort, and I'm sorry, my apologies to anyone who's not pro-Trump here, but in this case, I'm agreeing with them, to smear and imply things about their political enemy without putting the facts out. Okay, so they give one specific. The letter points to her Syria trip as an example of Gabbard aligning herself with Russian and Syrian officials. Now, a resident expert on that area, Moira, I'm curious, what do you think about that? Does it disqualify her? And if you feel so, that's okay. Just maybe let me know what I'm missing here. But does it disqualify Gabbard? Maybe something else does, but does it disqualify her that she talked with Assad? I would love to know. Mikey Susie 4, if you dissolve the CIA, the evil demon spirit J. Edgar Hoover will come back to life and frighten you in a bride's wedding dress. You know, that gives me great ideas for a D&D campaign. I think that needs to happen. There needs to be a D&D campaign where J. Edgar Hoover, as a lich, comes out to fight the party as an undead, magic-wielding thing in a bride's wedding dress. Moira Kitty, Trump is begging for the CIA to be active in the United States. He has become the swamp. I hope not, but it wouldn't surprise me. But Moira does not think it disqualifies her. No, thank you. I mean, again, there may be something else, but I've never understood why talking to Assad, you know, if you got something else, but just talking to him, I don't see how that disqualifies her. She publicly cast doubt on U.S. intelligence reports, but I do too. Not that I'm any expert myself, but anyway, overwhelming public support that Assad carried out chemical weapons attacks against Syrian civilians, giving credence to the debunked conspiracy that the attack was staged by agents of the United Kingdom. The group wrote in a letter organized by Foreign Policy for America. Wow, Moira, again, I'm going to lean on your expertise if you're still here. You need to go to your stream pretty soon, but is that, I don't even know if I'm going to say the truth, but is that a thing that has been said that the United Kingdom staged these attacks? Wow. Submit the idea to Chris at the longest running superhero role-playing game. Ooh, brilliant. I got to write that down. I'm going to forget it if I don't. And you know, I forgot. I was going to read y'all a quote before I dove into this, but you know what? It is what it is. Chris, longest running. This is why I write things down. I forget. I got 34 minutes into the stream and I haven't even read the quote to you guys. Chris, longest running superhero game. All right, that's fantastic. J. Edgar as a lich in a bride's dress. All right. Somebody's going to have to give me some I know it is what it is. Oh no, I created an idea for future Bohemian Grove festivities. Moira would not be surprised if they staged it. No, I wouldn't either. This is the first I'm hearing that, but And I'm not saying that this is what happened. I'm just saying I'm to a point where it would not surprise me if that turned out to be the truth. Okay. So I was going to read you a quote, and it was going to be spiffy and wonderful and awesome and amazing, but I'm going to do this out of order. Better to be late than never, right? I'm reading the 48 Laws of Power. And if you see the poll that I have up, one of the things that I'm saying I'd be happy to do is to do a book review on that. Let me know. Go ahead and leave a vote on whether or not you want me to do that. But I think this quote from the book really applies to Trump and possibly Tulsi and possibly us. Success plays strange tricks on your mind. This is a quote from his 47th law. It makes you feel invulnerable while also making you more hostile and emotional when people challenge your power. It makes you less able to adapt to circumstance. You come to believe your character is more responsible for your success than your strategizing and planning. And then he has a quote from Napoleon Bonaparte: "The greatest danger occurs at the moment of victory." And this is from Law 47 of the 48 Laws of Power. Don't go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn where to stop. And we all know, even if we're a Trump supporter, we all know that is a flaw of his. He just doesn't know when to stop. He just keeps going. Now starring Trump and the Trumpettes. Huzzah! The Great 100, who I'm sure are wonderful patriots, added, in response to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine launched in early 2022, Ms. Gabbard similarly released a video insinuating that U.S.-funded labs in Ukraine were developing biological weapons and that Ukraine's engagement with NATO posed a threat to Russian sovereignty, both arguments initially used by Russia to justify its illegal invasion of Ukraine. Her sympathy for dictators like Vladimir Putin and Assad raises questions about her judgment and fitness. If you've just seen her bikini pictures, I don't think we have questions about her fitness. The letter also encourages senators to do some consideration of Gabbard in a closed session so that they can weigh all information available to the U.S. government about Gabbard, including her obligation to protect intelligence sources and methods. The letter also argues Gabbard lacks the typical executive experience associated with those nominated for the role, which I will give that. She probably does. She's a colonel. She's at least one or two levels below where such a pick would normally be. Having said that, I don't give a crap. I just don't give a crap, because I would love to have somebody who's had those bastards oppress them be the one to clean house. Anyway, they're calling her the least experienced director of national intelligence since the position was created. Again, it's a legitimate criticism, but in my heart, there are other factors that completely countervail it. The lovely Sherry, welcome, welcome. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are having a wonderful new year. Thank you for the comment and being here. I hope that you find some of it entertaining and or maybe informative. Gorilla Sensor thought, it's only illegal if you lose. The victors make the rules. That is correct. That is correct, Mike. I mean, it's not correct, but it seems it's correct in fact. in my heart, I wish, I don't want to be that cynical, but it does seem to be the case that the winners basically do whatever the heck they want. Mikey Susie 4, insinuations, very interesting, said like Henry Gibson from Laugh In. I agree. People saying hello to each other. Hold up. Wasn't there an agreement that NATO would not expand? We can get into that if we want, if enough of you say you would like to. I kind of don't want to get too distracted, but when Gorbachev was doing his reforms, and you're hearing a rare thing that almost never happens, barking from Cassie. Wow. I think there's a dog out there. Sorry about that, guys. Gorbachev was having trouble. In fact, eventually there's a coup that overthrew him. And he called Reagan, because back then there was a hotline. We've decided that we're too superior to have a hotline to Russia now. But Gorbachev called Reagan and said, hey, I'm trying to reform the country. I'm trying to make this all better, but I cannot do it if there's even a possibility that you guys, I remember what it was. It was Germany. Everyone was, except for Russia, everyone was wanting Germany to reunify. And the hardliners in Russia were like, no way is Germany going to reunify under NATO. And of course, we wanted it to. And Reagan promised, of course, evidently, maybe it's not on paper or something, but he promised that we would not move, quote, 1 inch east of Germany. Now, I know my liberal friends have all pointed out to me, well, Reagan's dead. Well, we don't care about that anymore. Dude, I thought we were the honest people. I thought we were the good guys. I thought good guys kept their promises. Does that mean that Putin did the right thing? Hell to the no. He's still the bad guy. But, yes, Sashi, America promised not to expand east, and we've just basically ignored that. Now, maybe we were right to do that. Let me know in the chat. Maybe it's okay that we ignored that. Illegal, dang, autocorrect, right? Gorilla? Gorilla Censor Thoughts. Sashi, that agreement's been violated 24 times. I don't know if that's an accurate figure, but it has been violated a lot since the fall of the Soviet Union. Mikey Sousa 4, Gorilla's right. The USSR's rebellious states have made their points since said agreements, brother Sashi. Sashi says, so it's like this. They kept poking the bear, then complained when the bear got angry. That is, I mean, I'm sorry. My friends on both the right and left get really upset with me, but that is my take on it. We poked the bear, we poked the bear, we poked the bear. The bear snapped back. And again, does that mean that the bear is bad? Yes. But we knew the bear was dangerous when we poked it. It's not like we were poking a little helpless squirrel or something. We knew it was a bear. So isn't there at least some responsibility that we hold? I feel we do. I feel we hold maybe not as much, but nearly as much responsibility as Russia for the nearly 50,000 dead Ukrainians from last year alone. Exacto mundo. America always violates its treaties, it seems. Oh, no, you exaggerate, gorillas. I've talked to many Native Americans. This is a recent thing. We don't violate our treaties. Treaty violations are a necessity and a curse. Well, that's a discussion for another day. I've already gotten too far, maybe not off topic, but kind of skirting the topic. Justice for Peanut. Agreed. All right. So I think that's all of that article. Let me make sure that there's nothing else in it that I want to share. Hello, testing, testing, testing. Sorry, guys, I don't know what happened. There's some of you still here, right? The feds got him. Yeah, something happened with StreamYard. All Peanut needs is love. Love is all he needs. Okay, I made it back. Okay, sorry, guys. Evidently, StreamYard doesn't want to run with all the things I had up to show you guys. So I got one thing. Let me get at least an article or something for Tulsi resigns. Sorry about this, folks. Okay, I'll just leave that up. Let's see. And then the video, I'll have maybe one more video to show, two more videos to show you guys. Hopefully this doesn't overload StreamYard again. I'm happy that I was able to get it back. He's black by popular demand, and there was much rejoicing. Yay! All right, so blah, 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 blah. Let me get this back up if I can. I'm up to 679 subscribers. Thank you very much, folks. I'm going into my YouTube studio to find the video that I've been going to present. I need, not that this much matters, but I need 746 more watch hours, and then I can monetize. Going back to analytics, one of the reasons why I decided to do this was that YouTube recommended one of the videos that I want to present to you guys as inspiration for stuff on my channel. So, all right, we're back to where we were. Man, I feel like I'm very lame. But anyway, where Tulsi starts out. I have a speech that she gave. I have not heard it. This was November 11 of 2016. So I thought I obviously can't play the whole thing because, you know, YouTube, but let's listen to at least a few minutes of it and see what you folks think, what you would have thought if you'd never even heard of her before. So here we go. Tulsi Gabbard, Veterans Day speech, November 11, 2016.
And thunderous applause to welcome Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Aloha. Fellow service members, veterans, families, and leaders from the community. It's wonderful to be here to observe and celebrate Veterans Day with all of you. You know, one of the things that I have grown to appreciate more and more every year that I've had the privilege of wearing this uniform is that unbelievable and unbreakable bond that exists between the shared experiences that we have, existing not only amongst those who we serve physically shoulder to shoulder with, but amongst those of us who have worn the uniform spanning different generations and different conflicts.
Right. it's roboting, but I can make out what she's saying. Okay. Oh, StreamYard's being horrible. Wonder maybe if I shut this down. Maybe sure and save this file. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. And then shut that program down. See if that helps. Maybe the volume's too loud. You mean on YouTube proper or in on my microphone? I'll turn both down just a touch. See what happens. Okay.
Just last week, I was here marching in the Hilo Veterans Day Parade, and for the second time had the privilege of meeting Lieutenant Walter Hughes, who is here with us today, and giving us the opportunity to honor him and thank him for his service. He was a bomber pilot during World War II. I believe you're 94 years old now, is that right? The first time I walked in the Hilo Veterans Day Parade, I met Walter and saw him again last Saturday, and boy, he looked sharp in his dress uniform, the very same dress uniform that he wore back after World War II. It was a privilege to be able to salute you, sir, and to be able to talk about your service and the example that you've set for all of us.
I do agree with her on that. That's that Greatest Generation. It's still breaking up, but I can follow it. What in the world is going on? I know it was roboting here a while back too, and I wonder why. Okay, let's. Hold on. I'm going to try something real quick. All right. Can you hear me now? Is that any better at all? Let me know. I've closed a tab or two. I thought I'd close this program down. What the world? Okay. All right. Let's see if that works, helps. Let me know if it helps. Okay. John can hear me. Okay. Very good. Let's see what else she has to say. She was honoring a World War II vet who would, if he's still alive, he would be 102. All right. Okay, so you can hear it. Basically, again, she's in Congress at this time, but she hasn't been denounced as a spy. She hasn't yet, run the chair or anything. She's just a veteran congressman, which I always kind of thought you couldn't do, but I guess you can, and I don't care anymore. So I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit, see what she has to say. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know if y'all noticed. I gotta pause it. She let a tear out. No sound. You can hear me. Can you not? Oh, I'm not sharing her. Ah, darn it. Okay. Tulsi Gabbard. Sorry about that. Okay. Can you hear her now?
Recognizing that the values that we share and that we've served for and fought for at different times in our country's history remain strong. And we stand resolute with an amazing community that honors all of you and your service. I'm going off script a little bit because Colonel Dawson stole half of my speech. Unknowingly. I was going to get into the history of Veterans Day, but he covered that, so I won't repeat it.
So what? I don't know if anyone noticed, but there's a tear coming out. I don't know if it's just allergies or if she actually is just deeply moved by what she had been going to say about the history of Veterans Day. I don't know. Hopefully it is on screen now. At least I'm seeing it on screen. Let me know if you guys don't see it.
When we remember our veterans, it's important for us to remember the immeasurable debt that is owed to you, to our veterans and to our families, a debt that is impossible to fully repay, but it's a debt that is essential for us to always remember, to never forget the true cost of war and who carries the burden of that cost, not just with the visible or physical wounds that may be inflicted, but the invisible wounds and other things that stick with you for decades to come.
Okay. Is it still not on screen? Please let me know if it's not. Basically, she's somebody who's talking about the debt owed to veterans. I mean, it could just be empty rhetoric. I don't think I have many. I think I only have one dim in here. So please voice out if you think I'm full of crap. This does not sound like somebody who doesn't care about our military. This doesn't sound like someone who wouldn't care about national security assets. And let me be plain. I have nothing against intelligence assets that we have on the ground. What I have against is the people at the top. It's the people who've been basically milking careers off of other people's lives for such a long time. Let's see what else she has to say.
As veterans and as service members, as warriors, it is our job to salute the flag, to always place the mission first, to never accept defeat, to never quit, and to never leave a fallen comrade.
So, this is part of her credo. You never quit. You never quit. But yes, she did quit the Democratic Party. So there's two ways of looking at that. Does that mean that she is just a quitter? She's just a quitter. Or does it mean that things were so bad that she could not continue to see herself as an honorable person? If you can hear me, I'd love for you to let me know in the chat what you think.
Never. Whether it's over there or it's over here. As brothers and sisters, no matter where we are, we close ranks around each other, and as a community and as a country, it is essential that we do the same. These warrior ethos for us that have been ingrained in our very being never leave us, even after the uniform is laid down. The great contributions that you've made and that others continue to make and future generations will continue to make created great responsibility for our nation's leaders to honor your service and sacrifice through the decisions that they make.
Gorilla's random censored thoughts here makes what I think is a good point. It's not quitting when denouncing treason. At least that is how I see it. Again, anyone that disagrees or has a different view, please feel free to share in the comments respectfully. I don't want to hear stuff like "you're dumbhead nom noms," but please feel free to disagree.
Both with our country's policies and with how you are honored. Making sure that our troops are not sent into harm's way with missions that are unclear or objectives that are unknown or objectives that don't best.
And that's both parties have done that. I think we can all agree, whether Dems at the top, Republicans at the top, have both been guilty of sending troops into harm's way. If you want to argue that one does better than the other, I'm willing to listen to that, maybe agree with it, maybe. But both parties have been guilty of, go out there and kill stuff and until things get better. Gorilla says her thoughts. Anyone who disagrees with me is committing treason.
Serve our country's national interest. Unfortunately, at this time in our country, unlike previous generations, we have far fewer people who have ever worn the uniform, who have ever experienced in a firsthand perspective what it means to serve, what it means to make that commitment.
And those numbers have only gone down in the past 8 years. Again, though I am pro-Trump, and I know he says he was great for the military, but the people I've talked to who are in the military, he could have been improved upon. Having said that, these very same people were forced out by Biden. They either had to resign, leave, quit for various reasons.
To sacrifice everything if need be. But whether they've experienced firsthand what it means to serve in war or in conflict or not, it's important that all understand that our troops and veterans' willingness to sacrifice everything cannot be taken lightly. It must be honored. As we've just finished another election, I think it's appropriate for us to acknowledge that elections come and go, and the results of these elections matter, but there are some things that should never change, no matter what those outcomes are. Our nation's responsibility to honor our veterans is one of those things, ensuring that you get the respect that you deserve, that you get the care and services that you have earned, and that you and your loved ones are recognized for the sacrifices that you've made. These are responsibilities, awesome responsibilities that I take to heart and that I carry with me every day in the work that I do for you as veterans, for our state, and for our country in Washington.
Okay. I don't know that I want to listen to the whole rest of the speech, but basically those are the principles that she lays out, that she touts, and to my knowledge, I don't know of a time when she's violated them. If you know something I don't, please let me know in the chat. Obviously, if she really is a Russian asset, then that is something, but it begs the question, and if we need to, we can look up the interview with Dr. Phil. The military hasn't fired her. They haven't demoted her. They haven't written her up. Her commanding officer still trusts her implicitly, at least according to her. It might be interesting to hear from him. But let's face it, if I'm a commanding officer and I suspect somebody below me is a Russian asset, I'm going to find a way to get them out of my unit or have them watched or something. But she's been there for all this time. So riddle me this, Batman. I mean, do we just have a bunch of upper level commanders who are Russian assets? And if that's the case, how do we know that some of these 100 people who are denouncing her aren't Russian assets? We have no idea. I've covered it before. The only proof I can find of her being a Russian asset is the Young Turks found that there was a legit Russian spy who contributed $60-some, if I remember right, to her campaign. That's the closest thing to proof that I can find. Let's move on in her history. So she went from being this young, congresswoman, this military person that everybody really loved, and then she became DNC chair. I'm going to try and hopefully share this. Hope the sound isn't too bad. I bet it is. We'll find out.
Congresswoman from Hawaii, Democratic National Committee Vice Chair, has been at odds with her boss, DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz, for months over the Democratic presidential debate schedule. Congresswoman, you're here because you have an announcement to make regarding your position at the DNC. Tell us.
Well, first of all, I am resigning from the DNC so that I can support Bernie Sanders for president. I'd like to tell you why. As a veteran and as a soldier, I've seen firsthand the true cost of war. I served in a medical unit during my first deployment. Every single day, I saw firsthand the very high human cost of that war. I see it in my friends who now, a decade after we've come home, are still struggling to get out of the black hole.
Right. So she was a Democrat. She served on the DNC. She was told many things about how she was on the high road up. And then she started arguing with Hillary Clinton. She tried to be unbiased, but evidently nobody else was. Pretty nearly everyone else was pro-Hillary, and she didn't like Hillary's stances. But let's see what else she has to say. I'll quit interpreting what she's saying.
I think it's most important for us as we look at our choices as to who our next commander-in-chief will be is to recognize the necessity to have a commander-in-chief who has foresight, who exercises good judgment, who looks beyond the consequences, who looks at the consequences of the actions that they're looking to take before they take those actions, so that we don't continue to find ourselves in these failures that have resulted in chaos in the Middle East and so much loss of life.
But it was just a month ago, and this was sort of got us curious about. A month ago, you said you think the next commander-in-chief needs to have a, quote, military mindset. You said this during an interview on Fox News. Does Senator Sanders have a military mindset?
From what I've seen, from talking with him and from his record, he does. And what that military mindset means is you go through an analysis process as you're looking at potential courses of action that you're going to take, and how and when we use our military power, and just as importantly, when we don't use that military power, that military mindset says you have foresight. You look at what are the results, what are the consequences of these actions, how will other actors in the area react to those actions, what will we then do? And you look, continue down the line so you know exactly what you're potentially getting yourself into before you make that decision that ends up costing us lives. And
NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Anyway, she had the horrible heresy of saying that we need to look before we leap, and she was branded, well, basically as a Russian asset. She was an enemy of the state. She ran for president in 2020. She eviscerated Kamala Harris, which baffles me that evidently not many people wanted to look at that. And then eventually she just had enough and left the Democrat Party. Let's take a little bit of a look at that. I don't want to watch a great big long thing. Let's watch this one. This is the wonderful ABC News that basically had to pay a ton of money to Trump because they were defaming him. Tulsi Gabbard announced she's leaving Democratic Party, calling it an elitist cabal of warmongers. Let me know if you can hear what she says here. It's eggs. Of course it's eggs. We're going to have a commercial about eggs.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs.
Nope, go away.
They're just So delicious.
Don't care if you hear it. I'll just read it myself. Former Hawaii Representative Tulsi Gabbard announced she's leaving the Democratic Party, denouncing it as an elitist cabal of warmongers. We all want to vote for them, but there it is. I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that is now under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers. And now it looks like it is going to play it. Let's see if we are lucky enough to hear it from her own voice.
Gabbard
No.
called for other.
No, I'll just keep reading it. It's now under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers driven by cowardly wokeness who divide us by racializing every issue and stoke anti-white racism, actively work. And remember, she's not a white woman. I mean, I know she may look like it to you, but she's not. When their eggs are $6 a dozen, I don't want to freaking see your commercial. Agreed. I would love to figure out how to get sponsorships and stuff, but if you ain't sponsoring this channel or you ain't one of the people that I like, I don't want to hear anything about it. The current Democratic Party divides us by racializing every issue, actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms, are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, demonize the police and protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, believe in open borders. I mean, this has been going on for a bit. Weaponize the national security state to go after political opponents, and above all, dragging us ever closer to nuclear war, Gabbard said on Twitter. Gabbard represented Hawaii's 2nd Congressional District. We already know that. In a video posted to Twitter on Tuesday, she claimed that the party she's exiting stands for the powerful elite, not the people. If you can no longer stomach the direction that the so-called woke Democratic Party ideologues are taking our country, I invite you to join me, she said. Gabbard paired her announcement with the launch of a podcast series on YouTube called The Tulsi Gabbard Show. First upload is a 28-minute episode titled Why I'm Leaving the Democratic Party. Chief among the reasons her 20-year stint as a member of the Democratic Party will be cut short, she said, is there fear that President Biden and Democratic Party elites have pushed us to the precipice of nuclear war, risking starting World War III and destroying the world as we know it. Gabbard said that her entrance into the 2020 presidential cycle was also because of imminent nuclear holocaust. I ran for president in 2020 because I knew that this is where we were headed. All the signs were there. I raised this issue every single day during the campaign and on the national debate stage for those of you who may have come to a town hall or who were watching. I'm sure you noticed, but the politicians and the media completely ignored it. In her announcement and throughout the episode, Gabbard touted a number of traditionally conservative talking points, repeating right-wing rhetoric like wokeness and elites, hearkening back to phrasing top GOP leaders have regularly circulated. She accused Democrats of turning American democracy into a banana republic. The raid of Mar-a-Lago is another escalation in the weaponization of federal agencies against the regime's political opponents, while people like Hunter Biden get treated with kid gloves. Now the regime is getting another 87,000 IRS agents. And isn't it ironic if she ends up being their boss? To wield against its adversaries. Banana Republic, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wrote after the raid. Gabbard has long been a Fox News contributor. In August, she guest hosted Tucker Carlson Tonight, following the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago. Whatever your views of Donald Trump, she said on the show, there's no denying that the unprecedented raid on his Palm Beach home earlier this week has set our country on a dangerous new course, and there's no turning back. Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, a Republican, applauded Gabbard on Fox and Friends following her announcement, calling her an independent maverick and noting that her exodus from Democrats may be an indicator of further movement away from the party. I think when she ran for president, she realized how really isolated she was from the great majority of the Democratic Party, which is now, frankly, a pretty weird party. We saw the same thing happen in a slightly different way in Philadelphia last week, where the former deputy mayor, a Democrat, endorsed Dr. Oz for the U.S. Senate and said that John Fetterman is just so crazy on crime and so pro-criminal, he couldn't be for him. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm just going to interject this. I've heard Fetterman say some pretty cool things recently, but anyway, that's this person's opinion. Hey, there it is. Anyway, we're seeing a drift. Gabbard did not announce her next steps or if she's considered jumping to the Republican Party. I will skip ahead just personally. I won't quote it, but she did eventually join the Republican Party on the same day she officially endorsed Donald Trump. And now this is the video. I'm going to share the video that YouTube thinks should be inspiring to me. I hate to admit this, but I haven't had a chance to actually watch it. But let's see what we have. Tucker Carlson and who's this other guy? I can't remember his name, but he's been on Russell Brand and Tucker Carlson both. He was another one of these classical liberals. This is where I get most of my inspiration from anymore, is from classical liberals who are seeing that this modern style of liberalism ain't what they signed up for. And I hope that that's why, I don't know, Darth Fraggle, if it's fair to call you a liberal. I don't mean to label you, but I've kind of got the assumption, the belief that you're one of those classical liberals, one of those thinking liberals who just doesn't like where things are going. Doesn't necessarily mean you're pro-Trump, that you voted for Trump, or that you like him, but you don't like the direction that some things are going. Let's watch some of this video and see what these gentlemen have to say.
The president has assembled a divided team. One person who I think is pretty close to his stated objectives on foreign policy is Tulsi Gabbard. Yes, so he's nominated to be director of national intelligence. The entire Senate Intel Committee appears to be against her. I think every member.
And that shows that she is completely on the right side.
Exactly.
All right. So the gentleman that you just saw here, I cannot remember his name, but Jeffrey Sachs. He is he's a scholar and I don't know if he still is, but he used to be a journalist. I cannot remember what he had. He was one of those great big journalists from the past that had some amazing exclusive, and I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember what it was, but where I started following him, he had been on an interview with, I want to say it was CNN, or maybe it was MSNBC, and he was starting to tell some things about COVID or about something, and they just completely stopped the camera on him. They didn't say anything. They just stopped filming him. And so nobody got to see what he had to say. And that became a big deal. That was part, I don't remember if I covered it. I think this was before I was blogging, before I was YouTubing. But this was part of the censorship that was going on. We will convert him to the dark side yet. And meow, meow, Moira Kitty, I hope that your stream was good. Please forgive me for not being there. I'm almost done. But I'm going to run through, maybe not all of this video, but I'm going to try to get most of the meat and bones out of it and see. Basically, my take is I see the confirmation, and feel free to disagree with me, but I see the confirmation of Tulsi as a litmus test. In other words, if she gets through pretty smoothly, then maybe there's hope. maybe there is hope that we can change things without lots of horrible things happening. If she's confirmed, but it's difficult, then that means that we have a lot of work to do, but there's still, again, at least a little bit of hope. If she's not confirmed, I'm taking that as a sign that the deep state is still what's in charge. I'm not saying that we won't have anything better for having put Trump in, but that's going to be one of the litmus tests for me. Moira is saying it's okay. I will try to forgive you. Thank you very much. Well, I don't want a cat to come into my home some night with a big thing and tell me what for. Let's see what Tucker and Sachs have to say here. Oh, and by the way, the Electoral College has confirmed Donald Trump as president-elect because, we're too stupid to know that or to understand the implications of that.
Right. Do you think she'll make it? How important is it that she make it?
She's probably, and I don't want to jinx anything, she's probably the most important appointment of the Trump administration.
It does seem that way.
She is incredibly intelligent, incredibly honest, incredibly committed to U.S. security, and would do a superb job. So that's why she's being opposed, because the forces that be that are worse than mediocre, that are right now on top of a $1.5 trillion a year machine, that have been running disastrous wars, that have been bringing us closer and closer to doom, don't want any accountability. And what Tulsi Gabbard would represent is competence, honesty, forthrightness, and not having been a party to all these failures.
Well, that disqualifies her right there. According to this, let me see if I've got the right person. The Center on Capitalism and Society. Wikipedia is almost worthless anymore. Yes, here he is. He's a world-renowned economics professor, best-selling author, innovative educator, and global leader in sustainable development. Facts at columbia.edu. He's widely recognized for bold and effective strategies to address complex challenges, including debt crisis, hyperinflations, transition from central planning to market economies, the control of AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, the escape from extreme poverty, and the battle against human-induced climate change. So once again, we're not talking about a hardcore right-winger, although he was censored in the early part of Biden's administration. But anyway.
So if you're the incoming administration, how hard do you fight for a nomination?
Well, she's critical because this is the most important question facing the United States today. We have many important questions. We have major financial, social, political, economic, institutional questions. But the most important question facing us is a country that potentially is more secure than any country in the history of the world going to do itself in by a self-provoked World War III. And we're on that course. And five presidents have been on that course through their incompetence and their obedience to an unaccountable deep state. And
I can't listen to him anymore. He said deep state. He's obviously a bad guy.
Trump is coming in saying that he's going to change direction. He says every day that he wants to be president of peace. By the way, I think the greatest thing that could happen is 4 Nobel Peace Prizes for President Trump. He could end the war in Ukraine. He could end the war in the Middle East, not by bombing Iran. That would do the opposite, but by enabling a two-state solution in the Middle East, and the wars would all end.
Now, I think he just spoke to your heart there, Moira. He's wanting a two-state solution. Let me know what you think. You may know something about this guy I don't. So
Would end the talk of the war in East Asia, which would be the utter disaster and folly, by recognizing that we shouldn't be meddling in China's internal affairs. And
yeah, while I'm no fan of China, yeah, we should, if we don't want them manipulating our elections, again, as much as I don't like them and don't trust them, we also need to not be manipulating them. I mean, let me know if you think I'm wrong. Maybe I'm full of crap there. Maybe I've listened to Ron Paul too much, and it is okay if we manipulate China. Let me know what you think.
Taiwan is an internal affair of China, and he should be restoring a framework of nuclear arms control. I give him 4 Nobel Peace Prizes for that. If he chooses that direction, he'll be the most consequential president in our modern history, perhaps in our history, because he will reestablish security for the American people.
Do you think he's laying it on too thick? Because I'm going to be honest, having not watched this video before, I've heard him say a lot of things, but he's never spoken about Trump like this. It almost makes me a little bit skittish, because while I voted for him, it always worries me when somebody's laying stuff on too thick. Maybe I should just play it and not interrupt.
If he follows the hardliners, he's just going to add yet another years of bringing us closer to doom.
You ever feel like you can't trust the things you hear or read?
Yes, I do, but I'm not going to play your advertisement either. Like you, Tucker, but I don't want to hear about your sponsor. I need my own sponsors.
Sign up now. How is the Ukraine war settled?
Ukraine war settled literally in one call, just as he says, because all he has to do, really all he has to do, is pick up the phone and call President Putin and say, you know, that 30-year effort to expand NATO to Ukraine and to Georgia was ridiculous, unacceptable, unnecessary provocation, and it's led us to this juncture. I'm against it. I'm going to say it publicly. We're going to end this adventurism, and you stop fighting today. And the fighting will stop that moment, actually. Then,
do you think that's true, or do you think he's naive? I'm going to admit to you, I want to believe that that's true. And that's the predilection of my bias. Having said that, I can see, if I'm looking at it from the other way, I can see thinking, oh, that's naive. There's no way. There's no way all it takes is a phone call, et cetera, et cetera.
There will be details, and the details are where the borders will be drawn exactly. But the war will end. The war will not end, by the way, by saying, let's have a ceasefire. That's a meaningless statement. As you heard repeatedly from Foreign Minister Lavrov, and as I know, and as anyone thinking about this knows, this isn't about a ceasefire. This is about a cause of this war.
And as we all remember, too many times a ceasefire means you stop shooting at me, but I don't have to stop shooting at you. So we all know that kind of ceasefire is complete BS too.
And the cause of this war is that Russia does not want the U.S. and its missile systems on its 1,200 kilometer border with Ukraine right now. And Biden was so stupid, and I'm using the term, of course it sounds, I don't know how it sounds, but it's true, that he couldn't say that and avoid the war, though it was obvious how to avoid this war. Obvious how to avoid this war. But Biden couldn't do it. That's why I say he's been such a terrible president. And I think that President Trump wants to do it this way. Now, again, he's got people around him of many different views. Some say, promise him, just ask for a ceasefire, freeze the conflict, armistice, Korean solution, 1953. This is completely beside the point. Russia isn't going to freeze the conflict. It's actually winning on the ground. But why is it fighting? It's fighting because it does not want this regime, which was installed by the United States in 2014, to have U.S. bases, NATO, U.S. weapons, and missile systems on its border. And
Okay. Now, for those of you who think that that's unreasonable, for those of you, and again, I'm not saying that that Putin was right to invade Ukraine, but while it did happen before my time, I am at least a mild student of history. We had the missile crisis in Cuba during Kennedy's administration. Remember, we almost went to war over that. We were adamant and determined that there were not going to be missiles in Cuba. And I hope I can be forgiven for thinking that it works the other way as well. If I'm Russia, I don't want missiles in Ukraine. I don't want NATO bases in Ukraine. And if anyone remembers, I can look this up if you need me to, but it was lovely Kamala Harris who went to Ukraine and gave the speech before the invasion. It was about 2 months before the invasion, if memory serves. Oh yeah, you guys are going to join Ukraine. It's going to be, or you're going to join NATO and it's going to be great and blah, blah, blah. 2 months later, Putin invades and people voted for her.
the fact that Biden just proved the point by saying, yeah, we'll fire the missiles into Russia, make it all the more clear why they're concerned about this. This isn't an idle threat. This isn't some dumb thing. They're being hit right now by U.S. missile systems, by U.S. Personnel firing these missile systems. So it's not an idle threat. So people who say freeze the conflict, they don't get it. People who say, and there was an initial statement, NATO will not enlarge for at least X years. Somebody said 10 years. Somebody said 20 years. This is also completely ridiculous. Then another idea. Well, we'll give Russia this territory, Donetsk and Lugansk, and maybe Kherson and Zaporizhia and Crimea, but all the rest of Ukraine will be part of NATO. Of course it's not. It's the same deal. This is ridiculous. So if you understand what this is about, where it came from, why it continues to this moment, there is one phone call that ends it, which is get to the underlying cause of the war.
Right. That is what he says about that. Let's skip ahead just a tiny little bit.
Well, could Russia ever align with China? No. Nope, that's not going to happen. Could Russia ever align with Iran? Nope, that's not going to happen. Russia's only choice is to accede to the U.S. action. So in 1997, it was perfectly clearly understood what is the strategy, what are we going to do, and what will happen. The only problem is it was wrong. This is the only problem. He got it completely wrong. And you can go back, and to his credit, he wrote his prediction. It's wrong. But why are we still playing that game until today? Why did Biden exactly continue on that failed course? Because he's a failure. That's why. Because he didn't understand. Because he's surrounded by mediocrities at best.
All right. So according to Sachs, who again, Harvard-trained economist, wrote The End of Poverty, Commonwealth Economics for a Crowded Planet, The Price of Civilization, and classical liberal. He's not a hardcore Republican at all. A survey by The Economist ranked Sachs as among the 3 most influential living economists. This guy believes that the Tulsi nomination is crucial because we basically need someone who understands that the Ukrainian war is nothing more than a tragedy, and that it needs to come to an end. Do we need to just bend over and do everything Russia wants? No, of course not. But at the same time, we need to allow them to save face. We need to not try to humiliate them. You don't humiliate your opponent until they're so broken that they can't fight back, and that's not Russia. You know, they may not be as powerful as we are, arguably, but they're still not a weak country. It's ridiculous to think so. And so, if I haven't lost everybody, I am going to I'm going to now share pointless and partisan things that I've found on Twitter, and then I'm going to call it a stream. I feel like it would have been a good one, but the Yard stream wasn't very kind to me. So there it is. Let's go to my bookmarks. And let's go down to wherever it is that I want to start sharing. I think I will start. I'll start here. There we go. I'm pretty sure this is where I was at anyway. Whoever thought to put a turtle on a mini skateboard is a straight up genius. Here we have the cat worried by the turtle on the skateboard. No, it is not Maria with Tiantelli. This is Nature is Amazing. When drones and fireworks meet, I think this was in Japan or maybe China. But at any rate, it was a beautiful light show, fireworks, but also a bunch of drones. I won't play the whole thing, but Billy Idol, I've been following him. He has a new album out. Happy New Year. This was me with J.J. Jackson, New Year's Eve, 1983, going into 1984. I guess his 2025 album is coming in April. Sorry, it hasn't come out yet. The world's largest fireworks launched over, according to this, it was in Nagaoka, not Nagasaki. So, for a change, one of the things I like is Twitter's things actually fix things instead of just censoring them. So, it's still cool. And I think all of you have probably seen this, but in case you haven't, I hope YouTube lets me show this. Yeah, they shoved this guy right in front of a train. At least as of a day ago, he was still alive. Miraculously, I don't know if he still is now. Lisa from YouTube, Tink, it's time to wish everyone a happy new year. Elon Musk. This is something I haven't researched. So please let me know if you know something about it. Let me know if you know if it's full of crap or not. If it is legit, I will probably do a post about it sooner rather than later. Nagasaki had the second biggest fireworks show it ever had. We can't talk about its biggest fireworks show. Right on. Right on. So many people at all levels of power in the UK, this is Elon Musk, need to be in prison for this. Like, what? Okay, well, what's going on? Parents who attempted to rescue their children were arrested when the police arrived. We read cases where a child was doused in petrol and threatened with being set alight, children who were threatened with guns, children who witnessed brutally violent, can't say the word, thank you, YouTube, and were threatened that they would be the next victim if they told anyone. Girls as young as 11 were abused in this way by large numbers of male perpetrators, one after the other. What's the point? Might as well be deleted. Sometimes I hate YouTube. In 2 of the cases, we read fathers tracked down their daughters, tried to remove them from houses where they were being abused, only to be arrested themselves when police were called to the scene. In a small number of cases, which have already received media attention, the victims were arrested for offenses such as breach of the peace, being drunk and disorderly, no action taken against the perpetrators of this kind of abuse that YouTube doesn't want us to talk about. God forbid we should talk about it and cause it to come to an end. Censored on something not that bad. I don't even know what part of it got censored. Oh, geez. All I said was we humiliated Germany in World War I and absolutely nothing, came. I think I know where you're going with this, but nothing came out. We humiliated Germany in World War I. Nothing came out of that. And I'll let you keep going, but I'm assuming you mean that it really didn't help anything. We fought. We lost a lot of good men, a lot of lives broken, and it didn't really help the world. Elon Musk shared this. I share a lot of what Elon Musk says because it's not even so much that I do like him. Obviously, I must, or I wouldn't be sharing his stuff. But I know that he at least is not going to censor the stuff that that he's sharing. If that happens, and we know he's lost his mind. Adriano Gianturco, I don't know who that is, but stop saying you pay taxes and don't receive anything back. You don't pay taxes to receive something. You pay taxes to not be arrested. They are taxes, not a commercial exchange. The state is not a store. Yes, it was saying we humiliated with the Treaty of Paris. It directly led to everything in the 1930 up to 1945. Yes, sir. That is correct. That is correct. At least in my humble estimation. I know not all of you like Benny Johnson, and I don't sub to him anymore, but Elon's son is living it up at Mar-a-Lago's New Year's celebration. So here he is tapping on his dad's head like it's a drum. Elon standing right by Trump. I like that. I think it's beautiful. Troy Pacelli, he shared this one. How long is this one? Okay, it's about 7 minutes, so I'll share some of it. Teachers' unions don't care about your kids. No surprise. Most unions exist only to perpetuate themselves and their politics. They don't even care about the people they claim to represent. Let's look at that. Didn't we lose a bunch of lead balls over a 2%? We did. We loosed a bunch of them. And a lot of Brits didn't come back home. And also a lot of Americans, to be fair.
A very different guy. And he's rebuilding this Republican Party. It's a political realignment. And he got more black than any Republican candidate's gotten since 1976. He's still a long way.
I'm going to skip ahead a bit. Even though I am still pro-Trump, I don't know that I'm necessarily wanting to go there right now. I just want to hear what he says about the teachers' unions.
How many trillions of dollars in debt are we? 39, whatever it is, whatever crazy number that doesn't make sense in my head.
Yeah.
Whatever the number is.
Right.
How we have so much money to send to all these countries in foreign aid. We just gave $1 billion to Africa in case they get hit by storms, for natural disasters. How much would it cost? How much would it cost to fix every school in the country? How much would it cost? It can't be done. Okay. Are you telling me it can't be done with $39 trillion? If I gave you $39 trillion, do you think that you could fix every school in the country? I bet you could. I bet you have a lot of money left over. Okay. So let's forget the $39 trillion because that's ridiculous. But what's the number? Like, how much would it actually cost to just with like proper planning, a real strategy, and hire the best professionals you possibly can, compensate them well with a goal entirely focused on fixing the education system in America, taking our standing where we are internationally, which is very, very low now, and raising it back up to the top. How do we do that?
That's a good question. What is this doing? Okay, I'm going to look that up. Let's see what does Google say. What would be the cost of fixing America's schools? A 2014 Department of Education study found it would cost $197 billion to bring the nation's deteriorating public schools into good condition. So, if we accept that number, $1 trillion is the number. If we would just pay $1 trillion, in theory, we could fix America's schools. So where's Joe Rogan's logic going on this?
How much would it cost? Just help me out. It's not insurmountable. Like if I said 39 trillion, you'd be like, yeah, you definitely do it. Yeah, you definitely pay people so much money. Yeah.
You can't do it for 39 trillion. You know why?
Why?
Because there's all kinds of entrenched obstacles that won't let you do the necessary reforms to make the teachers teach the kids better.
Of course. Okay.
So it's muddy.
And I already know I have 3 good friends who are teachers. At the minimum, one of them is going to be peeved by this thinking. Let teachers teach on a public platform fixed. It would improve things. Public school has become too dangerous. No, I agree with that. And again, I'm not sharing this to disrespect teachers themselves. Let me reiterate, 3 of my very good friends are teachers, and they, in my humble opinion, they do an amazing job. So I'm not trying to, this guy's saying, well, the teachers don't teach, and some don't. We all know that some don't. LDG says that if the teachers taught on a public platform, they would make more money. I don't doubt you're right. One of the friends of mine that I'm talking about, we have had that discussion in the past, that if he could basically expand his horizons out, and he's trying to do so. God bless the guy. He's trying to get that figured out. But as long as he's, God, I don't want this to sound condescending because I do respect the hell out of the guy, but he won't ever really get where he could under the current system of teaching. I'm not saying necessarily that Trump is the answer or the Republicans are the answer. I'm not saying that. But the current system of teaching is broken. And something needs to happen. I don't know that we need to get rid of the department, but something radical needs to happen. Tim, cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes, cheering her name. Send a volley cheer on high. Shake down the thunder from the sky. Old Notre Dame will win all over while her loyal sons march on to victory. That's beautiful. One of my good friends In fact, he was Tennessee. I'm having a senior moment. Tennessee Whiskey Flats is his YouTube moniker. He's been on a panel on here. He's a big fan of Notre Dame. I hope he hears that part of it because he loves Notre Dame. Thank you very much, Tim, for being here, for the kind comment. Let's see what else this guy has to say.
Part of it, sure, but it is less of a part than actually having some sort of system of accountability so that there's actually results. It isn't, unfortunately, the education system, at least in places like Chicago, for example, the public school system, of which I come from, the priority of that union, the teachers union, is less the children. It's all about their members and the teachers. And so they resist any kinds of changes that would maybe make for the classroom environment to be more conducive to teach a child. Things like merit pay, which is controversial, but they resist even out of hand the chance that maybe you provide bonuses to teachers who are successful in raising up a child's test scores. And then test scores.
And I know, again, at least one of my friends may be insulted by this. I hope not. It's not my intent. But, and I know the teachers union has actually helped him out, but it sounds like something that he and I both talked about. Why can't a teacher get some kind of a bonus, or why can't they get a bonus if they have a ton, they make the same whether they teach 200 students or 30 students. Why can't they get a bonus if they have a ton of students on them? Why, there's all kinds of things that really could make their lives better, but the union really doesn't seem interested. Again, I'm an outsider, so he may feel like I'm full of crap.
Aren't the best evidence of whether or not a child is learning. So there's complicated things. You have to have the money necessary to do it, but it doesn't have to be an astronomical sum.
$1 trillion, according to Google.
They've got to change the way they are teaching our children. And I think you can learn from other countries and see what other countries are doing successfully and try to bring that here. The problem you get is the politics in America. The Democratic Party is controlled by many different interest groups, the teachers unions, the Education Association. Those unions have an unbelievable amount of sway, and Democratic candidates are afraid of them. Plus, they need them to win. So the complications are more administrative than they are money.
And I'm pretty sure all three of my teacher friends would agree with that. That there's just this big thing about we're not going to pay teachers very well, but we're going to have a bunch of administration. I think I had that. In fact, I would search, but I'm half afraid I've got some embarrassing things in my Twitter, so I won't. But the number of administrators has risen exponentially. Now, of course, my friend's wife is going into administration, so he probably doesn't want it all cut away. But maybe instead of pumping so much money into administration, maybe we could pump just some of that into the teachers or into the into the infrastructure or whatever. I did also want to share this. Maybe. No, hush. I'm going to share this gentleman. He goes by the name of Doc Rowe. Sometimes I share his stuff and sometimes I don't. I love nearly all of his stuff, but I don't want to act like, I'm a white guy. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I don't want to act as though I understand how the blacks have it and I absolutely understand their struggles and all this. I'm sure there's plenty of it I don't understand. So I don't want to overshare his stuff and kind of be like a jerk. I plead the fifth. At least you admit it. I just say I'm too lazy to look. Right on. But we did learn that according to Google, $1 trillion would fix the American teaching industry, education industry. All right. Let's see what he shared. There's a specific thing. I wonder if I'll be able to actually get to the specific thing. This is a little bit older that he's sharing, but it's something that I think it's good to remind us about, especially under the topic of Tulsi Gabbard and her running the intelligence agencies.
Really sounded like a threat to me. But what do you think?
He's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday of getting back at you.
Do you remember that? During his first administration, when Trump was picking on the intelligence community, you remember Chuck Schumer saying that? I sure as hell do.
So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, and he's being really dumb to do this.
He's just got to be very, very careful because he's making enemies he doesn't realize, and the incentives in Washington are totally different than those in business. I would say to Elon Musk, not he would listen to me, but stick to business. You've done great. You've made a couple $100 billion since the election. Lay off the gas on politics a little bit because these people could hurt you, and it's no. I don't know about.
What do you think? You remember the old threat? Did that sound like a threat to you? You know, Elon Musk, you built a pretty good business here. I think we can all admit this is very much you've had a lot of help from us as well. It'd be a shame if his business came tumbling down because of some unfortunate thing that you said on Twitter. All right, back to Twitter itself. I think this is part of that drone thing, but I just love it. It's beautiful. Dragon flying all over the place. I don't know that I want to read the whole article. Troy Pacelli shared this, and I'd heard a little bit about it before, but we all know about the truck that drove through the people on the in New Orleans, and it's terrible, and we pray for the people who've been hurt and slain. Troy Pacelli's comment, I think it bears at least thinking about. When a murderer tells you why he did what he did, you got your answer. Cover-up didn't work this time. Here we go again with Elon Musk with his kid on his shoulders. Let me play this one. It's about 9 minutes, so I won't play the whole thing. I need to be wrapping this up soon. Stop screen, present, share screen. Okay, where do they begin this? I think it's right here. I'll skip a little bit of the Hills thing, but
Annie Linsky on that reporting, and why we're just hearing about it now. And many say, why are we only being told this now? Was there a cover-up? Why did the media not tell us sooner?
Yeah, I have read that. I've done some emails to that effect as well. Look, at the Wall Street Journal, we pushed hard on this topic. We were the only outlet that really got behind the scenes in doing reporting.
I can't even understand what she's saying.
You know, the White House pushed back very hard every step of the way, and an institution in the world.
And here's CBS News journalist Jan Crawford calling the story the most underreported of 2024.
Undercovered, underreported. That would be, to me, Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline.
Yeah, this is the part I wanted to share with you.
Undeniable in the televised debate.
The presidential debate was
unquestioned. And, you know, it's starting to emerge now that his advisors kind of managed his limitations. It's been reported in the Wall Street Journal for 4 years, and yet he insisted that he could still run for president. We should have much more forcefully questioned whether he was fit for office for another 4 years, which could have led to a primary for the Democrats. It could have changed the scope of the entire election. Yet, still, incredibly, We read in the Washington Post that his advisors are saying that he regrets that he dropped out of the race. That he thinks he could have beaten Trump. And I think that is either delusional or they're gaslighting.
President Biden has said repeatedly he was sick during the debate June 27th in Atlanta, and he's always been fine, and he leaves fine.
Okay, and I want to skip ahead just a little bit. Essentially, CBS, the reporters are finally admitting that it was a mistake to not cover his cognitive decline. And I would say hell to the yes, because they basically, the people who have been called conspiracy theorists, well, now they've not only got a leg to stand on, they've kind of got a whole freaking pickup truck to stand on. And number two, I mean, their credibility is just, it's gone from being shot with about 20% of the public to being more like 52 to 60%. And it baffles me that it's that low, honestly. I think this is where they're talking about it. Hopefully, they make a good point here that I wanted to share.
And campaign and serving as president for another 4 years. It's that we don't think he can win against Trump anymore. Well, why can't he win against Trump anymore? Because everybody just saw that he's not fit.
He's still the president right now. He's got
a month to go.
Okay, this might be
the Wall Street Journal, conservative and independent media who were raising legitimate questions from the beginning.
Okay.
And to close this out on the media's complicity in this, it wasn't just that they didn't investigate, but a lot of them were actively denigrating outlets like the Wall Street Journal, conservative and independent media who were raising legitimate questions from the beginning of his administration, which we know, thanks to that Wall Street Journal report, it was a few months into his presidency in 2021 that advisors were already having to reschedule meetings because.
And that's to the point that you've been making, Gorilla's Censored Thoughts. A lot of people like me were giving him the benefit of the doubt well into his second year. We were feeling that, this is just a bunch of conservative propaganda. And it turns out, no, it wasn't. I'm not saying there isn't conservative propaganda, and I know we've got to be careful about going too far the other way. Everything the conservative outlets tells us is true, but this one ended up being true.
He had good days and bad days. The media was, again, complicit in attacking those who actually did try to uncover the truth.
Yeah, they were happy to say that, well, so-and-so in the administration says he's great. It's some national security expert. Well, don't you trust the experts? They use that same weaponization of expertise to cover for Joe Biden. We have more free media right after this.
Okay, it seems like they covered it a little bit better than that. But the point that they had made that I was trying to share was it was a lot easier to cover for Joe's cognitive decline during the time of COVID. I won't find it in a timely enough fashion to make, but I'll make the point myself. What they have said that you're not hearing was when COVID happened, Trump was out there campaigning, doing the Trump thing. He got COVID. Biden, who was probably already suffering from his decline, basically stayed put, and the excuse was COVID. And therefore, a lot of that decline was hidden. And it ended up being brilliant. Well, they didn't have anything like that this time. There's been rumblings and ramblings about bird flu, but they haven't. I think that they're scared, and I think they're rightly scared, that if they try to pull another COVID style of thing, there's going to be a freaking revolution this time. I don't know if it'll be bloodless or not. And I'm going to guarantee you, I don't know that I would fight for it, but I sure as heck wouldn't fight against it either at this stage. All right. After those brave words, Maria with Tea and Telly, Mr. Muffin is feeling so much better, so I treated him to a professional studio mommy and baby snapshot. He wanted me to thank you all for the love and good healing vibes. He had a bad headache and minor concussion, but he's a champ. Much love. Juanita Broderick shared Hillary Rodham Clinton's Her Essential Wisdom, 98 cents. Satan shares, my wife told me to take the spider out instead of killing him. I went out, had a few drinks. Nice guy. He's a web designer. Critically thinking and drinking. I too envy morning people. The Force awakens. The Force needs 5 more minutes. I found out on January 1st, some of history's most valuable art just became free. Disney, Hemingway, Hitchcock, and Popeye, some of their stuff falls out of copyright, becomes public domain in 2025. Dr. Phil, 15 lives were tragically cut short, over 30 others injured in New Orleans at the hands of an Army veteran raised in America who was apparently recruited by radical Islamists. The truck he used to mow down innocent revelers bore an ISIS flag. I know Moira has some things to say about that. But this is the person that they're saying did it. Shamsuddin Jabbar, 42-year-old Texan, killed by New Orleans police. This heartbreaking tragedy underscores the heavy toll of tolerating hateful ideologies. It raises unsettling questions about how many others harboring disdain for America are poised to commit similar acts of violence. Gorilla's Random Thought shared this. Brian Sicknick, your daily reminder that Officer Brian Sicknick would still be alive if it weren't for Donald Trump's actions. And Gorilla's Random Thoughts remind us he died from 2 strokes. Medical examiners listed the cause of death as natural causes. If you don't believe it, look it up. This one I loved. When they keep trying to distract you with psyops, but you've learned to notice where they're coming from. This cat just staring at the person. This one's staring at the laser beam. This one's like, yeah, I've seen this too many times before. C.S. Lewis, we're not doubting that God will do the best for us. We're wondering how painful the best will turn out to be. Savage, Robert F. Kennedy, dear Whoopi, I appreciate your perspective on my influence. However, if half the passion of your constant uninformed criticisms were directed towards exercise and diet, your health and weight would naturally improve. Open to discussing further. Best, RFK Jr. Let me get this straight. This is from Gain of Fauci. A white FBI director, Chris Wray, gets fired and replaced by a brown minority director, Kash Patel, and members of the FBI's DEI office are now protesting and threatening to resign. The irony is almost too good to be true. Dude plays a banjo on a mountain. A little fox shows up to listen. I just think it's adorable. I won't play the whole thing because I got to get going here. Elon Musk, why have police allowed the grooming, certain kind of abuse, and murder of British children for over 40 years? I need to research this. Since I'm getting so close to the end, I'm going to get through. Breaking. A plane has crashed into a warehouse near Fullerton Airport in California. Casualties reported. The fire department is on a 4-alarm response. Perfect question. Why are some people more outraged by Elon Musk commenting on the state of the United Kingdom than they are by the mass abuse of 250,000 British children? And lastly of all, Elon Musk shared Kevin Sorbo's tweet. People don't trust the government because a billionaire child trafficking ring was exposed, and we still don't have the names of who participated. So there it is. The pointless things that Curtis has found on Twitter. Hey, Mark Malikoff, kapla, glory to you and your house. January 20th cannot come soon enough. Agreed. I am going to end this. It's been a minute since I've had this many people. This says that there's 35 people in here. Thank you very much. You are all wunderbar. Let's start playing the soft prone. Give you guys the time to go to other and possibly even better streams. you can get to, I linked in the chat, Netter's Network. Also, I'm going to close the poll and see what won. It looks like 40% of you want me to talk about corporate socialism on Tuesday. So that shall be. We will talk about corporate socialism on Tuesday. And I have linked, I've pinned to the top of the chat, Netter's Network. So please go there. There's probably several other good places to go as well, but always want to support her. She gave me my start. So, hail Sashi. Yeah, some of the stuff has disappeared on me too, so I may end up not thanking some of you. I'm so sorry. Mikey Susie 4, thank you for showing up in your kind comment. You are doing a review of Nosferatu right now. Moira Kitty, she had a stream. She came right before her stream and right after. Wonderful person here. You really want to check her out. And while you're at it, check out Gorilla's Censored Thoughts. He helped devise for me some strategy things and a stream intro. So for all I know, these extra people, a big chunk of it may be from him. Thank you very much, sir. Mikey Susie 4, I've already talked about him, but he is well worth repeating. He's a great person. Thank you for the prayers and the kindness. The lovely Sherry, thank you very much. She often retweets my stuff. She's amazing. Sashi, Connie Cleary, faithful bird woman of YouTube, please visit her channel. Watch her videos of beautiful birds accompanied by lovely Indian music. If you have troubles with anxiety, I can tell you it will help calm you down. Sashi, the government already took care of the helpless squirrel, Curtis. I know. Justice for Peanut. John Ponderero, thank you very much. I am so sorry for the snafu there. I don't know what's going on. I need to look. I downloaded it. I need to look into Stream Elements. Just got to get it done. But thank you for your brotherly love, your prayers, your support, and the having a senior moment for the videos that you share with me. You're a very kind person. Love Chick Productions, the other channel of Connie Cleary, check that out. Space Fraggle, Kapla, glory to you and your house. So many good people, and we'll have a barrel of fun. Gorilla Censored Thoughts got censored again, and I'm not even sure why that one was censored. Basically, World War I didn't do what we needed it to do. LDG Free the Net, please check this person out and give him what support you can. He's developing an app. It's going to free us from these tech giants. Please check him out. I'm hoping that he, one, frees us from tech giants, and two, I hope it makes him richer than Croesus. Tim, cheer for old Notre Dame. Indeed. God bless Notre Dame. Kapla, Mark Malnikov, glory to you and your house. Kapla, Connie Cleary, honor and glory to your nest. Right on, right on. And John Paradise, welcome. Good to see you. You're at the tail end of it. You're just here in time to hear my pointless spiel at the end. It's been said that life is pain, and anyone telling you otherwise is just trying to sell you something. And it is true. I'm trying to sell you something. I want sponsors. But anyway, I'm trying to sell you on the idea that liberty is better than slavery, that freedom is better than tyranny, that you in fact don't need big corporations or big governments telling you how to live your life or how to think. And lastly of all, I want you to know, you're not going insane. You're going sane in a world gone mad. God bless all of you. I'm so thankful. There were many more people in here than has been for a long time, and I hope all of you got something out of this, except for that horrible silence in the middle. I'll keep working on my tech. God bless you all. If you don't believe in something, you'll probably fall for anything. 100%. It's true. I learned that from my dad in a country song. The day America starts trusting a government is the day I know we're all screwed. And that's the trouble. Too many of us have been trusting the government. Spoon! Have a wonderful day. I will see, hopefully, most of you at Netters Network and or some other places. Justin Michael, I'm about finished and done, but I wanted to acknowledge you. She will get confirmed and help MAGA. That is my hope. That is my hope, sir. Thank you very much. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Have a wonderful day.